Chapter 11. Young Master is the old monster of crossing calamity realm. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Young Master, are you at home? Xuanhuan had only just sat down when he heard a sound outside the door. Hearing this, Xuanhuan's mind flashed, Chen Daoming. Brother Chen, wait a moment. Xuanhuan opened the door. Greeting young master. Chen Daoming bowed deeply at Xuanhuan. Afterwards, he took out a 5-color god lotus from his space ring and handed it over to Xuanhuan respectfully. Young master, I have troubled you many times, this is a small gift, please accept it. Chen Daoming held the 5-color god lotus in his both hands, and his body trembled slightly. He was extremely nervous, fearing that Xuanhuan derided him. Come in, and bring the gifts. Xuanhuan took the 5-color god lotus and examined at it in his hand. The colorful light gushed out slowly, and you could see it's extraordinary at a glance. The flower has 5 petals, 5 colors, and it looks pretty. Xuanhuan said. Hearing these words, Chen Daoming was secretly reassured. Young master, the last time I borrowed your hat and fur coat, and I am here to return it. Chen Daoming took out the hat and fur coat and handed them over to Xuanhuan respectfully. It's just a set of rain gear. Just accept it. You don't have to send it over on purpose. Xuanhuan said. Hearing this, Chen Daoming's heart shivered. How dare he claim this kind of spiritual weapon for himself? The young master blamed him for sending it too late, so this was a test. On Chen Daoming's forehead, delicate beads of sweat overflowed, and he hastily clasped his fists. Young master, I don't want to keep what I borrowed from you. I am definitely not that kind of villain. Xuanhuan shook his head for a while. Xuanhuan a long sigh of relief. After taking back the hat and the fur coat, the system did not deduct the blessing point. Brother Chen, these words are serious. Come, please, let's have tea and chat. Xuanhuan said. Yes, young master. Chen Daoming followed Xuanhuan and walked into the front yard. I'll plant this lotus flower first. Xuanhuan murmured, walked to the pond, and planted the 5-color god lotus into the pond. It looks good, but there are too few petals. If I had a lotus flower with more petals and different colors, how beautiful it would be. As soon as these words came out, the pond slowly changes the lotus. However, Xuanhuan didn't know anything about it. Seeing such a scene, Chen Daoming was shocked. This is the Tao of speech. No, this is the lotus flower itself changing. There is a great monster in this pond, heaven. There is such a great monster beside the young master, and it is so terrifying. Chen Daoming secretly wiped his cold sweat. His heart was shaking, but his face did not dare to show anything. In case it broke the young master vows and caused damage to his Tao heart, he would definitely not be able to take the responsibility. The two continued to walk inside. Suddenly, Chen Daoming's expression was shocked, and his heart trembled. He saw the broken hatchet under the cherry tree, his eyes blooming with infinite brilliance. Young master. Chen Daoming stopped talking. Brother Chen, just say it. Xuanhuan said. Young master, why did you put your hatchet there? Chen Daoming asked. Oh, you mean that one? It's broken, it's useless, so I'm going to throw it away. Xuanhuan said. Young master, this, can you give it to me? Chen Daoming asked hesitantly. After saying this, he lowered his head and looked embarrassed. Do you want that? Xuanhuan said. Since the young master is not willing, forget it. Chen Daoming sighed secretly, blaming himself for being too greedy. Although he cannot see the rank, the broken hatchet resonated with him. Chen Daoming could confirm that if he obtains this hatchet for himself, his future was boundless. However, for this kind of treasure, how could the young master agree to give it away? Really, why do I dare to mention these desire? Chen Daoming lowered his head, anxious to look at Sun Hao's eyes. Sun Hao frowned. This tattered thing, he is a cultivator, can he have a liking for it? If he wants it, how can I not give it? Sun Hao raised his mouth slightly. Brother Chen, I misunderstood. I was thinking about how to deal with this thing. If Brother Chen wants it, just take it away. You are welcome. Sun Hao said. Really? Chen Daoming changed from surprise to ecstasy, looking at Sun Hao gratefully. Seeing Sun Hao nodding, he quickly ran toward the cherry blossom tree and picked up the hatchet as if looking at a top-quality treasure. You actually like trash. The cultivator's mind is elusive. Sun Hao shook his head and walked into the pavilion. Brother Chen, why are you still standing there? Come on, let's drink tea first. Sun Hao's voice awakened Chen Daoming. Thank you, young master. Chen Daoming quickly followed. After sitting down, Sun Hao began to prepare the tea. Last time it was Biluakun, this time, we change our taste and drink the Hong Pao. Sun Hao said. https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/de_hong_pao, de Hong Pao. Chen Daoming had evidently never heard of this name. It would be strange if he had heard of it, but he took it all by himself. The name existed only on Earth. After some time, a cup of tea served in front of Chen Daoming. Brother Chen, drink it. Sun Hao said. Okay. Chen Daoming picked up his teacup and carefully took a sip of it. The tea water turned into a cold breath, rushing to Chen Daoming's meridians. Afterwards, the cold breath flows through the meridians to the mind, strengthening the soul. He could clearly sense that his perception grew several times stronger. Enlightenment tea. Chen Daoming almost screamed. Fortunately, he held back. Young master, do you usually drink these teas? Chen Daoming wondered. That's natural. Sun Hao nodded his head. PSST, Chen Daoming took a deep breath. Enlightenment tea was a supreme treasure. It was said that there was an enlightened tea tree in some place, which was in the hands of a superpower. This enlightened tea tree could only be harvested no more than 10 leaves in 3,000 years. It would definitely cause a bloody storm when a leaf flowed out, making countless big forces rush for it. The superpower that grabbed the tea would not be willing to use it but would treasure it, and only give it to their supreme genius members. Just now, the young master did not only use a piece of tea leaf. It seemed that he used dozens of enlightened tea leaves. Thinking of this. PSST, Chen Daoming caught his breath again. His back was cold, and his body trembled with excitement. I can drink enlightenment tea, this is a dream. Chen Daoming muttered, looking indescribably at Sun Hao. But only to see him drinking calmly, without any fear, looking at Sun Hao's appearance that was not afraid of being snatched by others. He could still have this state of mind in front of this rare treasure. Big brother, real big brother. The young master's strength, I'm afraid it is not an ordinary cultivator, it is likely to be the old monster of the crossing calamity realm. Fuck, I am having tea with an immortal. Chen Daoming took a few breaths again. He firmly controlled his trembling body to prevent Sun Hao from finding any abnormality. However, this scene was clearly captured by Sun Hao. Cultivator, don't eat a mortal meal, but in front of my tea ceremony, you have to bow your head and pronounce it. Such a delicious tea, even if you are a cultivator, you still couldn't help praising it. Sun Hao muttered, his face calm. What will I give to Brother Chen later? By the way, those wood carvings, maybe Brother Chen will like it. Pondering like this, Sun Hao secretly made a resolution. Chapter 12. This is Testing Me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Crack, the door opened. Sun Hao took Chen Daoming to the woodcarving room. A reverberating sound went straight into Chen Daoming's mind. Roaring like a dragon, roaring like a beast, like the sound of a Buddha and the sound of the Taoist. Chen Daoming's voice was almost devastated, and his soul died away. This, Chen Daoming looked at the statues all over the room and was so shocked that he could not speak clearly. Every statue was realistic. The powerful spirit was concealed in it. Everything was very repulsive to the outsider, Chen Daoming. They contain spirits, at least the high spirits. Are these spirits all made by the young master's master? This is too frightening. Chen Daoming's heart trembled, and it took a long time for him to settle down. Brother Chen, since you gave me a lotus flower, I naturally want to pay you back with a little gift. You can choose one of these things. Sun Hao looked at Chen Daoming and said with a smile. There were so many kinds of statues that there would always be one you like even if you were a cultivator. Chen Daoming stood still, motionless. What? Choose one. Give me a top-grade spirit weapon just like this. The young master is not afraid of his master's punishment. No. It's not that simple. The young master is testing me. What's inside, you must never accept it. At this thought, Chen Daoming had an epiphany. Young master, I have already received a hatchet from you, and I can't take more than that, Chen Daoming said. Why? Do you despise the things here? Sun Hao put his hands on his back. His voice was solemn. Chen Daoming trembled as soon as he heard that. Where did I despise things here? It was evident that these things despise me. However, little guy, you and I are predestined, quickly take the old man away, and the old man will take you across the world. Little guy, don't listen to him. That old guy is too evil. He will take you to the wrong side. I am the most upright person, well, the most upright beast. Choose me. A series of voices came from the statue. These voices are full of flattery. At this moment, Chen Daoming could no longer distinguish between east and west. His heart seemed to crack open. He looked around foolishly and was shocked beyond description. What kind of place was this? You could tell how horrifying it was by listening to the tone. These spirits were willing to follow me because of a word from the young master. The young master let me choose one that could only be so. You couldn't be too greedy. Otherwise, you couldn't pass the young master test. Chen Daoming took a deep breath, glanced around, and began to search. He turned a deaf ear to those temptations. Soon, he saw the only statue without the sound of temptation. This statue was a Buddha statue. It had a broken arm, and there was no spirit in it. It seemed that it was several grades lower than other wood carvings. The young master intentionally hid such a defective artifact inside, evidently letting me choose it. If I hadn't been careful, I wouldn't have passed the test. Chen Daoming breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed at the thought of this. I must choose this one. Chen Daoming picked up the Buddha statue and walked to Sun Hao. Young master, can I choose this one? Sun Hao looked at the Buddha statue in Chen Daoming's hand and was speechless. This Buddha statue was carved when I first learned wood carving, and its appearance was rough. Moreover, the Buddha statue had a broken arm. This thing, because it was my first work, I am not willing to throw it away. Unexpectedly, this guy chose this one. Oh, it was not guaranteed the first time. Brother Chen wants it. Naturally, there is no problem. Sun Hao said. Thank you, young master. After collecting the Buddha statue, Chen Daoming bowed deeply to Sun Hao. Brother Chen, don't be so polite from now on. Sun Hao helped Chen Daoming up, showing a spring breeze smile. Seeing the joy on Sun Hao's face, Chen Daoming heaved a sigh of relief. It seems that I have passed the young master's test. Young master, it's getting late. I'll leave now. Chen Daoming said. Brother Chen, don't go until you have dinner. Sun Hao said. Thank you, young master. There is some matters in the sect, and I have to go back first. Chen Daoming said. Brother Chen walked slowly, come here often. Sun Hao said. Definitely, definitely. Walking down the mountain, Chen Daoming did not dare to stop, turned into a long rainbow, and left rapidly. He didn't stop until he came several miles away. Close call, close call. What kind of place is the young master residence? Those statues alone are terrifying. Also, the big monster in the pond, I can only sense a wisp of an evil spirit. It's terrifying. Fortunately, I passed the young master's test. In the future, when I come to the young master, I should be more careful. The more he thought about it, the more fearful Chen Daoming became. After calming down, he picked up the broken hatchet, put it in his hand, and thoroughly looked at it. I can't see the rank, but, with it, I am 90% sure to enter the top 3 in the sect competition a month later. However, I need to practice more, Dark Swamp. I am coming. After speaking, Chen Daoming turned into a shadow and left in a flash. 300 blessing points. Sun Hao opened the panel, and his eyes glistened. Today, from Chen Daoming, he gained 30 blessing points. He remembered a few days ago, and he only got a few points. Is it because his strength has become stronger and he has gained more blessings? Su Yiling's aura is indeed much stronger than Chen Daoming. It must be like this. Oh, no, I forgot to tell Chen Daoming. Sun Hao slapped his thigh, regretfully saying that it was not good. He forgot the most critical thing. Open a medical clinic and employ Chen Daoming as a bodyguard. It seemed that Chen Daoming was easy to talk to. How can I forget such an important thing? I can only wait until he comes next time. Sun Hao sighed, revealing a face of helplessness. In the center of the great monster mountains, in a cave. A man in red was sitting in the main seat, looking at the 2 rows of men below. His eyes were resembling eagles. He was the current monster master of the great monster mountain, Liang Golden Crow. Old Black Mountain Monster died tragically. Where did he die? Liang Golden Crow asked. Monster Lord, he died on a mountain on the southern edge of Great Monster Mountain. An old man said. The southern edge. Was it the Supreme Court? Liang Golden Crow asked. Monster Lord, I don't know it, said the old man. Can you see who killed him? Liang Golden Crow said. Monster Lord, you can't see it in a low way, the old man said. No matter who it is, those who dare to kill us in the great monster mountain must not let it go. Liang Golden Crow said. Monster Lord, please let me kill the murderer. Monster Lord, I will cut off the murderer's dog's head and hang it on the door. All the great monsters stood out one after another, opposing for one after another. Liang Golden Crow saw this scene. His mind changed sharply. The killer was undoubtedly not weak to be able to slay the old Black Mountain monster. But it was not worth doing it himself. Just in case, he had to send powerful generals. Liang Golden Crow nodded secretly. In this case, Du Jiao, Huang Li, Jin Lin, you go to investigate this matter together. If you see the murderer, kill without mercy. Liang Golden Crow said. Yes, Monster Lord. The 3 old monsters gestured one after another. What? Sending out 3 monsters in the void transformation realms. The Monster Lord is also too cautious. They are capable of fight against the Mahayana realm cultivators if the 3 of them work together. He is indeed a little too cautious. Chapter 13. I understand, the young master is waking us. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A day later, Jade Lake Palace, in an alchemy room. Su Yiling stood in front of the pill furnace with a solemn expression. She must refine a heartless pill. This was related to whether she could save her master or not and whether Jade Lake Palace could survive. By the alchemy furnace, female disciples stood in all directions one by one, waiting for Su Yiling's instructions. Start the furnace. Su Yiling ordered, and the female disciples moved at the same time. Next, she began to refine the pill seriously. Every step was extremely critical. After all the supplementary materials were purified, Su Yiling carefully took out the purple lingji. This was one of the best elixirs, and even Jade Lake Palace couldn't produce one. This process alone could not tolerate the slightest negligence. Su Yiling was extraordinarily prudent and began to purify. There was no mistake, and the purification was successful. Great, it worked. The saintess is very powerful. As long as the fusion is successful, it will be done. All the female disciples around showed a smile. Su Yiling continued to move. A few moments later. A vibrating sound exploded. The pill furnace opened. A flowing pill of purple flying out of the pill furnace. The legendary Heartless pill has been really successfully refined. The saintess has really refined the best spirit pill. Our Jade Lake Palace has to go further and may even become a 6th class sect. Yes. There were exclaiming sounds everywhere. Su Yiling took the pill and quickly ran to the palace master's room. Creak, the door opened. In the palace master's room, a woman dressed in purple was lying on the bed. The woman's face was yellow and thin, and the air around her was ethereal. She was Luo Luyen, Su Yiling's master and the palace master of Jade Lake Palace. Su Yiling quickly delivered the medicine to Luo Luoyan's mouth. Then, she sat by the bed and tightly held Luo Luoyan's hand. Master, you must wake up. A moment later. Luo Luoyan opened her eyes, looked at Su Yiling, and grasped her tightly. Jade Lake Palace will be handed over to you from now on. After saying that, Luo Luoyan shook and fainted afterward. Master. Su Yiling's face changed drastically, crying violently. She sensed that Luo Luoyan's heart stopped gradually, and she was at a loss. Master, it's my fault, it's my fault. I hurt you, and your disciple is unfilial. She took out all the things in the space ring and then picked them out of it and threw them aside. The last thing she held in her hand was the picture scroll sent by Sun Hao. This is from the young master. I wonder what it is. She opened the picture scroll. In the picture, there was a woman who was collecting red berries. On the painting, there were words. When those red berries come in springtime, flushing on your southland branches, take home an armful, for my sake, as a symbol of our love. http://wengu.tartari.com/wg/wengu.php.l equals Tangshir no equals 227. Su Yiling had just finished reciting, an abnormality appeared. She saw the woman in the painting stood up and smiled at her. Afterward, the woman took a step forward and walked out of the painting. The woman turned into a fairy like immortal, standing on Luo Luoyan's end. Subsequently, she said. When those red berries come in springtime, flushing on your southland branches, take home an armful, for my sake, as a symbol of our love. From the woman's hand, the red berries flew into Luo Luoyan's mouth. Luo Luoyan's yellowish face swiftly recovered its rosiness. Exuberant, with a fairy-like aura, she looked so beautiful. Finally, she slept there. Her mouth raised a smile. Whoosh, the woman flew back to the painting, motionless. As if everything was an illusion. This is the manifestation of Dao Rhyme, so incredible. Could it be that the young master has calculated everything and intentionally sent this painting to me so that I can bring it back to save the master? I still regard it as a common thing, and I almost killed my master. Su Yiling was in shock for a while. The young master is very benevolent, Yiling is unable to return this favor. Su Yiling looked out the window with an apologetic expression. A moment later. Luo Luoyan woke up leisurely and stretched out, so comfortable. Master! Su Yiling shouted. Yiling, why did you come to the underworld with me? Luo Luoyan said. Master, this is not the underworld. You are still alive. Su Yiling said. Alive? What's going on? Luo Luyen sat up and asked. Su Yiling told her about going to the Great Monster Mountain and meeting Sun Hao. Luo Luyen listened carefully, showing astonishment. There is such a senior in a small western region. Whether it is the young master or his master, you must treat him well and don't offend him. Luo Luyen said. Master can rest assured that Yiling understands. Su Yiling said. What about that painting? Show me. Luo Luyen said. Yes, master. After speaking, Su Yiling showed the scroll to Luo Luyen. Luo Luyen took a look. She was shaking in her place. Dao rhyme, it's really Dao rhyme. This is the Dao of lovesickness, this is the Dao of compassion, what a strong rhyme. Luo Luyen was thunderstruck and did not recover for a long time. She hurriedly put away the picture scroll and looked vigilantly around. Luo Luyen lowered her voice. Yiling, this painting is invaluable. I am afraid that 10 Jade Lake palaces will not be worthy of it. What? Su Yiling was shocked. The young master really said it was for you? Luo Luyen asked. Su Yiling nodded. Send you a picture scroll, is it only to save me? Luo Luyen frowned in secret and began to think. A moment later. Pa, Luo Luyen patted her thigh. I understand, the young master is giving us a wake-up call. Luo Luyen said loudly. Master, what do you mean? Su Yiling was perplexed. Yiling, do you know why I failed to break through? Luo Luyen asked. I don't know. Su Yiling shook her head. That's because we practice the heartless Dao. Luo Luyen said. What does this have anything to do with your failure? Yes, of course, there is. You see, the relationship between you and me is as close as mother and child, up and down in the palace, and as close as sisters. Where is the heartlessness? It is obviously compassion. For people who have compassion to go to practice the heartless Dao. It would be strange if they didn't get an inner demon. The young master gave you this picture, not only to save me but also to wake us up. We should practice the lovesickness Dao, practice the compassion Dao. From today, pass the order down. All Jade Lake Palace disciples, change to the compassion Dao. Luo Luyen said. Chapter 14. Sending the Jade Lake to the young master. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Su Yiling's face showed a sudden realization. I was so stupid that I didn't even think of the young master's hint. The young master definitely did not want to be involved in the cause and effect, so he could only wake us up secretly. Fortunately, master was clever and understood everything. The young master's kindness to wake us up is invaluable. Su Yiling muttered to herself, her eyes filled with gratitude. Yiling, this dress was given to you by the young master. Luo Luyen asked. Su Yiling did not rush to answer but carefully pondered Sun Hao's words. Master, the young master sees my clothes torn, so he let me put them on first. Su Yiling said. That's it. Come with me. After speaking, Luo Luyen took Su Yiling to a secret room. This room was filled with the treasures of Jade Lake Palace. There were spirit pills, spirit weapons, and cultivation methods. Luo Luyen picked up a spirit sword and walked to Su Yiling. Before Su Yiling reacted, she raised the sword and stabbed her. Bang, a loud sound was heard. The spirit sword fell and cracked. Su Yiling was dumbfounded, with a look of surprise. This. You see, the inferior spirit sword is as fragile as tofu and easily bursts. This dress on your body seems ordinary. Even I can't see through it. If I guess correctly, this thing must be the best spiritual weapon. Luo Luyen said. Boom. A thunder blasted above Su Yiling's head. The high-grade spirit weapon was already the treasure. No one had ever seen the Jade Lake Palace's best spirit weapon. Not to mention, it was this kind of full-body defensive superb spiritual clothing. The value was immeasurable. I thought it was just a magic weapon to enhance soul power. Unexpectedly, it was also a super defensive weapon. This kind of thing, the young master, actually let her put it on. Not afraid if she took it for herself. Master, so to speak, this suit is invaluable. Su Yiling asked. Yes, I'm afraid that compared with the picture scroll, there is nothing worse than it. Luo Luyen said. Master, what should I do? Su Yiling's face showed an anxious expression. Naturally, this kind of treasure cannot be claimed as one's own. Otherwise, that young man might be punished by his master, and his life will not be guaranteed. Luo Luyen said. Hearing this, Su Yiling's eyes reddened. Young master, I hope you are okay. I will return the clothes to you immediately. After that, Su Yiling was about to run out. Stop. Luo Luyen stopped her. Master. Su Yiling looked anxious. If, as you said, the young master went to his master to ask for the clothes, he should remind you to return them in a few days, but he didn't mention anything. Luo Luyen said. Master, does that mean that the young master is not in a hurry at all? Su Yiling said. Not bad. Luo Luyen nodded. If he can weave this kind of spiritual weapon, his master might be able to divine heaven's secret. Maybe that master, with the hand of the young master, will test you. Luo Luyen said. Master, what do you mean, that elder is testing our greed? Su Yiling asked. Not bad. Luo Luyen nodded heavily. Master, then I will return the clothes to the young master immediately. Su Yiling said. Stupid. Master. Yiling, you have to use your head in everything. Don't let your master teach you everything. You ate the young master's best spirit porridge and took his painting. The young master also saved you, saved me, and woke up our entire Jade Lake Palace. This kind of great grace, you just go there empty-handedly. Luo Luyen's voice gradually became louder. Su Yiling looked down and looked ashamed. It was really wrong. The young master might not appreciate the treasure in his own body, but he's sincerely giving it. In the eyes of the young man, she could not be a greedy white-eyed wolf. Master, what should I do? Su Yiling asked. Naturally, I have to give the young master a big gift. Also, as a teacher, I must accompany you personally so that you can appear sincere. Luo Luyen said. Master, what shall we choose? Middle-grade elixirs. High-grade elixirs. How can these vulgar objects get into the master's eyes? If you want to go, you have to send the heritage. The Jade Lake. Luo Luyen said, What? Su Yiling was startled. Jade Lake is the foundation of our sect. If we give it to young master, then we. Humph, what do you know? That painting alone will allow us to survive forever. A small Jade Lake, what is it in comparison? Luo Luyen said. Master teaches that disciple is stupid. Su Yiling said. Well, take me to see the young master. After speaking, Luo Luyen flew up and stood above the Jade Lake's forbidden ground. Hum. The ground vibrated with a wave of her right hand. A few hundred square meters of Jade Lake rises from the ground. Finally, the Jade Lake turned into a palm-sized and fell into Luo Luyen's hands. Master, have you broken through? Su Yiling looked at Luo Luyen, her eyes twinkling. Yes, thanks to the young man's lovesickness painting, this allowed me to break through. Luo Luyen said. Okay, let's go. Yes, master. Two figures went out hurriedly. A day later, the two came to the outskirts of Great Monster Mountain. After landing, they looked at the mountain ahead with a solemn appearance. Yiling, You must be respectful when you stay, and you must never be like last time. Luo Luyen said. Master, you have said it hundreds of times already. I know, you can't fly directly to the mountain. You have to go up from the foot of the mountain. Don't look into the eyes of the young master. When eating, let him use the chopsticks first. The young master must sit in the main seat. If he sits in the left side, that means we are not qualified to sit. Su Yiling said each sentence without leaving a single word. Yiling, you are smart, but your head is always one track. Minded, don't be confused later. Luo Lu Smoke said. Master, don't worry, this time I will definitely not. After the two talked for a while, they adjusted their clothes, took a step forward, and walked up the mountain without any rush. Soon after, they came to Sun Hao's residence. Young master, are you at home? Su Yiling knocked on the door and shouted. Creak, the door opened, and Sun Hao poked his head out of the courtyard. When he saw Su Yiling, his eyes were sharp and fleeting. When his eyes swept to Su Yiling's side, he looked sluggish. He saw that beside Su Yiling stood a purple-robed woman, whose face was comparable to Su Yiling. She looked more mature and more feminine. Especially the proud figure under the purple robe. It made the person who saw her gushing out blood. It turned out that Miss Su is here, please come inside. Sun Hao made a gesture of welcome. Thank you, young master. Su Yiling leaned slightly to show respect. Young master, this is my master, Luo Luyen. Su Yiling introduced. Luyen has seen the young master. Luo Luyen bowed and saluted. It turned out to be Senior Luo, please. Young master, how dare I be called senior? If you don't dislike me, just call me Luyen. Luo Luyen said. What? The cultivator is so easy to talk to. Let me call her first name. Since she asked, then I shall do it. Miss Luyen, please come inside. Sun Hao said. Su Yiling watched this scene with a hint of brilliance on her face. Older gingers are spicier. In a few words, she narrowed the distance with the young master. I have to learn more. Su Yiling thought inwardly, following behind them. Chapter 15. 100-Color Lotus God is trivial. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. 9-Color Lotus God. No, 100-Color Lotus God. Walking into the courtyard, Luo Luyen glanced across the pond, full of astonishment. In the center of the pond, she saw a lotus flower the size of a house blooming with colorful lights. The lotus had hundreds of petals, and each petal had a different color. It looked brilliant and charming. 100-Color Lotus God. This is most likely a supreme elixir. Su Yiling stared blankly, shocked. She remembered there was only one rainbow-colored god lotus here 2 days ago. 2 days later, 100-Color Lotus God grew unexpectedly, incredible. That colorful lotus still grows in place, without any change. This 100-Color Lotus God had just grown out. The young master's master was really powerful, and his methods were unimaginable. Does it look good? At this moment, Sun Hao's voice awakened the two women. The two women nodded, their faces full of admiration. Young master, is this lotus planted by your master? Luo Luyen asked. When Sun Hao heard this, the corners of his mouth rose. He remembered that he planted a rainbow-color god lotus a few days ago. Then, he said something. Presumably, when Chen Daoming heard it, he secretly tried to make the pond change. As a result, 2 days later, 100-Color Lotus grew. Sun Hao shook his head slightly. It's not, it's a small trick of a friend of mine. What? Friend's tricks. The young master's friend, unexpectedly, was so terrifying. PSST, Luo Luyen gasped and looked at Sun Hao, full of admiration. A few tricks could make the pond grow such a large elixir. I'm afraid that the young master's friends were not ordinary people. Probably Mahayana or the old monster of crossing calamity. Lu Yen came to disturb the young master today to thank you for saving my life. Luo Luyen bowed deeply to Sun Hao. You don't have to worry about it. Sun Hao said. Hearing these words, Luo Luyen secretly frowned. She deliberately didn't point out the person who she was thankful for because she didn't want to embarrass the young master. Is it possible that the painting was not made by his master but by the young master in front of her? Young master, you sent Yiling's paintings with a far-reaching artistic conception, which has benefited us a lot. Who created it? Luo Luyen asked. I made a fool of myself and made Miss Luyen laugh. Sun Hao said. Boom. Like a 9-day divine thunder, it fell on Luo Luyen's heads. The color of shock was written on the faces of the two people. Did the young master make that painting? Then, isn't all of this calculated by him? If so, why is there no spiritual power fluctuation in him? In other words, the young master is not a mortal at all but an old monster of the crossing calamity realm. He used small means to hide his strength, which I could not see. Thinking about this, Luo Luyen and Su Yiling took a deep breath. Fortunately, they had a good bond with him. Young master, Luyen has prepared a little gift for you. Please accept it. After speaking, Luo Luyen took out the prepared jade lake and placed it in her palm. This is. Sun Hao saw the jade lake in Luo Lu's hands, and his face was puzzled. Young master, it's called jade lake, which can be used for bathing. Luo Luyen thought about it, then said. Really? In Sun Hao's eyes, a sharp light flashed. I'll arrange it for you under the cherry blossom tree. What do you think? Luo Luyen glanced away and just in between the two cherry blossom trees. There was a large open space. Putting the jade lake, there was more than enough space. The branches of cherry trees could completely cover the jade pool. Miss Luo Luyen, please. Sun Hao nodded. Of course. Luo Luyen waved her right hand after speaking. Whoosh, the palm-sized jade lake grew rapidly with speed visible to the naked eye. A lake of several hundred square meters was formed in less than a moment. The water mist evaporated in the pool, against the pink cherry blossoms, as beautiful as a fairyland, making people reluctant to look away. From time to time, the cherry blossoms fall and dot the water so as to make people unable to breathe when they see it. Master, the jade lake, the lake has changed, and the spring water in it has reached the level of the best spiritual spring. Su Yiling gave Luo Luyen a divine consciousness transmission. I saw it. Luo Luyen looked bitter. Thinking of my Jade Lake Palace, several generations of palace masters have worked so hard to refine it with the array method so that the Jade Lake will produce a little bit of low-grade spirit spring. Unexpectedly, when it came to the front of young master, it honestly squeezed itself crazily to form a spirit spring, and all is the best spirit spring. Aren't you afraid of being squeezed dry? Luo Luyen sounds bitter. Master, Jade Lake is such a licking dog, bootlicker. Su Yiling said. Yes. Luo Luyen was heartbroken. The two of them swept their gazes towards Sun Hao, and they were secretly relieved to see him smiling. It seemed that the young master liked this thing, so no need to worry. Ms. Luyen, you're so polite. Sun Hao said. Young master, it's just a little gift, I hope you don't dislike it. Luo Luyen said. The two misses, since you are here, sit for a while before leaving. Sun Hao made a gesture of please. All right. The two women were not polite and followed Sun Hao into the tea pavilion together. Sit down, please. After speaking, Sun Hao sat in the accompanying seat. When the two women saw each other, they sat there and honestly stood beside them. Two misses, why don't you sit down? Sun Hao was taken aback. Young master, it's good for us to stand. How are you going to drink tea while standing? Sit down, I'll get the tea. Seeing Sun Hao leaving, the two hurriedly sat down to the accompanying seats. Ha! They don't sit in the main position. The cultivator is really different, very humble. Sun Hao secretly nodded. He also deliberately surrendered the main position to show respect. Unexpectedly, these two girls were more modest than himself. That said, I can talk to them about opening a medical clinic. I plan to ask them if they would be willing to be bodyguards. No way. If they become angry from embarrassment, I will be in trouble. I have to know more for a while. Sun Hao sat down and began to make tea. His whole movement was flowing and beautiful. For the worldly tea, the two women naturally disdained to drink it. However, since Su Yiling ate the porridge last time, her taste buds have been completely opened, looking forward to the tea prepared by Sun Hao. Luo Luyen naturally heard Su Yiling's words, and in her eyes, there was also expectation. A moment later, the tea was sent to the two women. This is De Hongpo, you two, please have a sip. Sun Hao said, offering the tea. The two women nodded, and at the same time, picked up the cup, taking a sip. Sweet and fragrant, an indescribable fragrance filled the mouth. The tea turns into a wave of coolness, gathers in the meridians, and rushes to the brain. The soul was growing rapidly. Just a little sip, the soul's strength was doubled. Enlightenment tea. The two women almost screamed aloud. They looked at each other's faces, revealing a full of shock. Master, is this tea for enlightenment? Su Yiling's divine consciousness transmitted sound. Yes, it is enlightenment tea. Luo Luyen nodded. Although Luo Luyen concealed it well, her hand that held the cup was shaking slightly. Enlightenment tea. This is enlightenment tea. Only the Supreme Existence is entitled to drink it. Unexpectedly, I have a chance to drink a mouthful of it. No, drink a cup. Master, it is said that there is only one enlightenment tea tree in that place. It has only a dozen leaves for 3,000 years, and each one is extremely precious. Is this true? Su Yiling asked. Of course, it's true. This enlightened tea tree is in the hands of that monster. Luo Luyen explained. Master, look at the young master. He seems to have picked dozens of enlightened tea leaves just now. Su Yiling said. What? Dozens of enlightened teas. Luo Luyen's mind trembled, and after thinking about it carefully, it was indeed just as Su Yiling said. Like a handful, the young master grabbed the enlightened tea leaves, at least dozens of pieces. Young master, who is he? 2. Incredible. Luo Luyen's heart was rippling, and she couldn't calm down. Not to mention anything else, just drinking enlightenment tea has already broken Luo Luyen's views. The two women looked astonished and were clearly captured by Sun Hao. My own tea ceremony has reached the supreme realm. Even if you are a cultivator and do not eat and drink like a mortal, as long as you drink it, your heart will be captured by my tea ceremony. The two misses, don't be embarrassed, drink. Sun Hao said quietly. Yes, yes, young master. The two women nodded, taking the cup and sipping it. After a few mouthfuls. Luo Luyen sat on the spot, closed her eyes, feeling quietly. As if in the whole world, she was the only one left. This moment. She achieved the unity of nature and man. Heaven and earth, as if in her control. Whoosh, the force of the starry sky, like a silk thread, fell into her body. She stared at Sun Hao, watched him put down his teacup, and was stunned. This action was full of rhyme and nature itself. Luo Luyen stared at this scene blankly, motionless. A kind of immortal skill, floating in her mind, quickly condensed and formed. Chapter 16. A caddy of tea scares the two women. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luo Luyen opened her eyes. Surprisingly, I reached the realm of the unity of nature and man, and even broke 3 levels and reached the late stage of the void transformation. In just 2 days, I have grown so much. I am afraid that I can't find another one in Tianluo mainland. If she knew, I'm afraid she would change her face, too. Luo Luyen murmured, revealing endless joy. She looked at Sun Hao with full of gratitude. She looked at Su Yiling again, just like her, achieving the unity of nature and man. After a while, she also broke through and reached the God transformation realm's perfection. Thank you, young master. The 2 women bowed to salute. A cup of tea is not enough. Sun Hao continued to fill the cup for the 2 of them. Come, continue to drink. Thank you, young master. Luo Luyen and Su Yiling took the cup and continued to sip it. This time, although they did not reach the unity of nature and man, it also strengthened their soul rapidly. The stronger the soul, the greater the understanding, which would greatly benefit the speed of cultivation in the future. Miss Yiling, did that dress fit you last time? Sun Hao asked. As soon as this sentence came out, the 2 women shivered. Oh no, I forgot it. I didn't return the spirit weapon to young master and made him take the initiative to remind me. Damn it, damn it. Left a bad impression on the young master. How can I be so dumb? Su Yiling reprimanded and berated herself hundreds of times. Young master, it fits me. After that, Su Yiling took out the clothes and handed them to Sun Hao respectfully. Thank you, young master, for lending me the clothes, and now I'm returning them to the original owner. Sun Hao was dumbfounded when he saw this scene. It shouldn't be. Don't girls like clothes best? How can you give it back to me? Does your clothing technology lack some standards? It shouldn't be. The supreme realm, that is, no one can surpass me. It seems that Miss Yiling doesn't like this mortal thing, alas. Don't be polite. Sun Hao showed an unpleasant look on his face. Su Yiling clearly captured this scene. Oh no, the young master looks offended, he must blame me for rejecting this supreme treasure he gifted for me. What should I do? How can I make up for my fault? She looked at Luo Luyen, asking for help. Luo Luyen shook her head slightly, expressing her powerlessness. Mrs., do you like this tea? Sun Hao asked politely. We like it. They nodded at the same time. Since you like it, take a caddy and go back to drink it. After speaking, Sun Hao ran out of the pavilion and went to the storage room. The 2 women froze in place, their expressions fluctuating. A caddy of enlightenment tea. I'm afraid there is only that amount in the whole planet Xiang. The young master said to give it to us. Why would they not understand this? This is precisely a show of strength, telling them not to be greedy. Master, what should I do? What should I do? Su Yiling was so terrified that her face turned pale with sadness. Yiling, this enlightenment tea is absolutely unable to be accepted. Even a piece of enlightenment tea cannot be accepted. Luo Luyen was determined. Master, I understand this, but we have left such a bad impression in the young master's heart, how can we make up for it? Su Yiling asked in fear. You can only take 1 step and watch 1 step. Anyway, you must not offend the young master. Luo Luyen explained. Su Yiling nodded, giving her master some assurance. Not a long time had passed, Sun Hao took a bag of tea and walked up quickly. 2 misses, take this bag of dehongpo and brew it. Sun Hao said. The corners of his mouth lifted up, revealing a smug look. You can return the clothes if they are not needed. But after drinking tea, you can't return it, right? Young master's kindness is unforgettable. We can never accept this tea. Luo Luyen said humbly. Yes, young master. Su Yiling said. Sun Hao was taken aback. Didn't you like it just now? I give it to you, but you don't want to accept it. Could it be that the cultivator doesn't care about such worldly things at all? Seeing the two girls' attitudes so tough, Xuanhuan sighed inwardly. Since the two misses don't want it, then I can't force it. However, Miss Lu Yen has given me Jade Lake. I have a little gift for the two misses. Please come with me. Xuanhuan said. Hearing this, the two women sighed with relief. A little gift, it makes them feel more at ease. They followed Xuanhuan and came to the study room. All kinds of calligraphy and painting were hung on the walls. Those words, like living creatures, seemed to fly out. The animals in the painting seemed to break through the paper and drill out of the picture. Dao rhyme. In each painting, there is a terrifying Dao rhyme. Master, every painting here is no weaker than the one the young master gave us. More than that. Luo Luyen pointed to the decorations around him. That inkstone can't be seen through. I'm afraid it's a supreme item. That writing brush gives me a sense of shock. It only needs a slight quiver to blow me into flying ash. And that guqin, it's terrifying, I dare not approach it. No, definitely not, even that table is also a supreme item. The deeper they went inside, the more shocked the two women. If it weren't for Xuanhuan, maybe they wouldn't dare to come in. This kind of place was simply terrifying. This was a huge treasure room. When everything was taken out, it would cause an earthquake. The hearts of the two of them beating violently involuntarily. There are calligraphy and paintings here. You could choose anything you like. Xuanhuan said brightly. What? Let us choose. Needless to say. The young master is testing us. Testing our greed. If you take the good one, your image in young master's mind will be dreadful, and you can never change it. Be sure to choose the worst, and only take one. Thinking like this, the two women looked at each other and nodded simultaneously. Thank you, young master. Next, the two women began to choose in the study room. It's like this chair is the worst, no. The young master said to choose calligraphy and painting, and he uses this to sit, I can't choose the chair. This pair of sunrise picture seems to be okay, it should be the worst one. No, it's not much worse than others. The two women walked around and shook their heads from time to time. Finally, they looked at a bamboo basket at the same time. Inside the bamboo basket, there were several batches of drawing paper. Young master, this is? Luo Luyen asked. This is a draft to be discarded. Xuanhuan said. Hearing this, the two women's eyes sparkled. Discarded drafts. Put it here on purpose. Isn't it just reminding us to choose one of these? There's nothing to hesitate about. Luo Luyen picked up a paper scroll and spread it out gently. This painting shows two fuzzy figures, a man and a woman, embracing each other. On the painting, there are two sentences. Though I have for my body no wings like those of the bright colored phoenix, yet I feel the harmonious heart-beat of the sacred unicorn. Asterisk, to one unnamed, poems by Li Shangyin, AD 813–858, the strong, compassionate rhyme, like a tsunami, rushed towards the two women. It was 100 times stronger than the lovesickness picture. The lovesickness picture was mainly the way of love, while the mutual love picture was all the complete Tao of compassion. At this moment, the two women were astonished, and their faces were full of shock. Their heart was beating wildly involuntarily. Hugh, after a long sigh of relief, Luo Luyen looked at Su Yiling and spoke earnestly. Do you understand? Disciple understands. Su Yiling nodded. The young master first wakes us up and revises the compassion Tao. Then, he was testing us. Fortunately, we are not greedy. Otherwise, such peerless treasures will not be seen by us. Well said. Luo Luyen showed a happy smile and picked up the drawing paper as if holding a treasure. Caddy equals approximately £1, https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/caddy Chapter 17. Young Master Suggestion. A sudden realization. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Young Master, we'd like to choose this pair, what do you think? Luo Luyen looked at Sun Hao anxiously, for fear that he would decline. That's it. Sun Hao was taken aback. There was disbelief all over his face. What's the matter with all these cultivators? They all like to choose trash. Like calligraphy and painting, can't you choose a good one? My own picture of the dragon rising into the clouds is pretty good, but it does not even come to their eyes. Instead, they pick a sketch I was about to discard. The previous Chen Daoming was also the same. He didn't choose a good statue. Why did he have to choose a Buddha with a broken arm? I can't figure it out, really can't figure it out. Maybe cultivators in this world have the tendency to collect trash. Anyway, as long as they find it likable. At least I can give out one thing and harvest some blessing point. At this point, Sun Hao smiled and nodded. In the eyes of Luo Luyen and Su Yiling, this expression had completely changed his mood. Master, look, the young master is smiling, we passed his test. Su Yiling said. Keep calm, try not to let the young master notice it. Luo Luyen said. Master, you are all smiling. I can obviously see it. Su Yiling said. Am I? Yes. After a few long breaths, the two women calmed down. The two women clasped their fists and bowed, thank you, young master. The two misses are too polite. It's getting late, why don't we have dinner together? Sun Hao invited. As soon as these words came out, the two women shuddered. The young master suggested for them to leave. It's so late. You are not leaving yet, do you want me to keep you for dinner? That's what it means. Young master, I have some important matters in the sect, so it is inconvenient to stay for a long time. I am really sorry to disturb you today. Luo Luyen bowed with her fists. Don't bother, don't bother. Since you two are going back, I don't have anything to say. Please come around more in the future. Sun Hao said. Definitely, definitely. The two walked out of the gate and went straight down the mountain. On the way, Luo Luyen suddenly stopped, looked at Su Yiling, and out of the blue earnestly asked, have you realized? Su Yiling stood in the same place. Master, have you realized anything? Do you realize what the young master said? Luo Luyen asked. Su Yiling stood in the same place and began to think. Then she scratched her head and looked perplexed. No, you. Luo Luyen patted Su Yiling's head with her hand. How long do you want to only eat in the future? Master, what did you realize? Su Yiling asked. When you have time in the future, come and visit more. What does the young master mean by this? Luo Luyen asked. Visit. Su Yiling frowned and thought. Soon after, her eyes sparkled, and her face was blushing, sweet and charming. Does the young master have a crush on me? Want me to visit him more and get along with him? Su Yiling asked. Dong. Luo Luyen knocked violently on Su Yiling's head, fancy you. How can such a character be fascinated by beauty? Master, what does the young master mean by that? Su Yiling asked. Come and not be indecent. Luo Luyen said. Master, this is. Su Yiling said. The young master is suggesting we find him a gift. Luo Luyen said. Looking for a gift. But we only have one jade lake. Su Yiling said puzzledly. You, pig head. Luo Luyen shook her head for a while, if you don't have a gift, can you not find it? Master, what do you mean? Soon, the Ling Su secret realm will be opened. We go there to search. We will definitely gain something. Luo Luyen said. What? Ling Su secret realm. That was left by a strong cultivator 80,000 years ago. Master, do you want to die? Su Yiling's face changed drastically. What do you know? Ling Su's secret realm is actually left by Taoist Ling Su. The world only knows that Ling Su is a powerful man, but it is not known that he is also a strong man who cultivates compassion Dao. Luo Luyen said. Hearing these words, Su Yiling seemed to think of something. Master, what do you mean is that the young master sent us the mutual love painting to suggest to us to go to the Ling Su secret realm? Su Yiling asked. Yes, Luo Luyen nodded with satisfaction. You can be taught. That kind of secret realm, the young master naturally disdains to enter it, so he wakes us up and helps the young master to collect treasure. At the same time, it is also testing us. Luo Luyen said. PSST, Su Yiling took a breath, looked at Luo Luyen, and calmed down for a long time. Master, you are really amazing, you can decipher it. Su Yiling muttered, admiring more and more on her face. Master is not as powerful as you said. It's just a prerequisite, and there is a feeling of success. You don't just eat in the future. Luo Luyen said. Yes, Master. Su Yiling nodded. Not good. Suddenly, Luo Luyen's expression changed drastically, and she flew up quickly. When Su Yiling saw it, she hurriedly followed, and she couldn't help taking a breath when she saw the scene before her. She only saw rolling dark clouds, coming from afar. 3 terrifying auras radiated in the dark clouds. Every breath possesses the aura of the void transformation realm. If the 3 are united together, there is no doubt they could match with the Mahayana realm. 3 great monsters with a perfect void transformation realm, this is troublesome. Luo Luyen's eyes filled with fear. Master, we are not their opponents. Shall we ask the young master to deal with it? Su Yiling said. Stupid, don't you see that young master is pursuing some kind of cultivation? Even if you die, you can't let them disturb the young master. Luo Luyen said. Yes, master. Su Yiling nodded, showing a firm look on her face. The 2 stood high in the sky, looking at the rapidly coming black clouds, motionless. For a moment, the dark clouds stopped in front of them. A black rhinoceros with a height of 100 meters stood in front of 2 people. That colossal mountain-like body crossed the sky, and could not be moved. He was sent by the monster lord. The one-horned old monster. Sniff, the one-horned old monster sniffed his nose and stared at Su Yiling. You have the breath of Black Mountain in your body. It seems that Black Mountain had died in your hands. Huang Li, Jin Lin, don't just stay there, let's do it together. The one-horned old monster said. Okay. 2 voices came again between the dark clouds. A 100-meter high yellow rosewood floated out of the dark clouds. A big monster shaped like a dragon and covered with golden scales churned in the dark clouds. 3 great monsters all exuded the aura of perfect void transformation realm. Superimposed together, they are extremely surging. Although Luo Luyen was now in the late stage of the void transformation realm, fighting against an old monster like this would be hard with her real combat power, let alone 3 old monsters. However, Luo Luyen and Su Yiling did not retreat. There was a touch of determination on their faces. I advise you to leave now. Otherwise, if you disturb young Master Dao Heart, you will definitely end up dead. Luo Luyen said. Hearing this, the 3 old monsters were taken aback first, then laughing. Ha, little doll, just the 2 of you. Killing us. Chapter 18. The Lotus Demon Immortal, One Finger Kills the Old Demon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10,000 branches grew like tentacles from the old monster Huang Li, and the air exploded constantly. These branches were dancing wildly, drawing towards Luo Luyen and Su Yiling. Boom! The one-horned old monster stepped away like a mountain and came at the 2 people. That kind of power was irresistible. Howl. The golden scale old monster let out a roar, like a dragon chant, shaking the 9 heavens. With this sound, the 2 women were motionless. Their bodies were restricted. All their actions stopped abruptly. It's over. The 2 could only watch the 3 old monsters pounce, helpless and powerless. The 3 old monsters were about to tear Luo Luyan and Su Yiling into powder. At this time. Presumptuous. A loud roar was reverberating. The voice was soft and refreshing. Hearing this, the ears and the scalps of the 3 old monsters were tingling. All their movements stopped. Looking for the sound, their pupils could not shrink. They saw only in a pond on the mountainside, 100-color lotus god, exuding 9-color divine lights. The petals of the lotus god were all stretched out. In the center of the petal, a beautiful woman stood there. She wore a colorful lotus skirt and a lotus flower on her head. She stepped into the air from the lotus god step by step, and with each step, a lotus god was born in the air. It was so beautiful that it made people reluctant to look away. Monster, monster immortal. The one-horned old monster mumbling, his eyes filled with panic. Why is there a monster immortal here? How can such a powerful existence live here? This is impossible. It must be a dream. How can there be a monster immortal here? The Jinlin old monster was also frightened in place. His claws kept wiping sweat from his forehead. The Huanli old monster shrank and shivered. Seigneur, I didn't mean to offend you. Please give us a chance to live. The one-horned old monster stood out, prostrated on the ground and respectful. Seigneur, please forgive me. The 2 other old monsters, also hurriedly prostrate on the ground, shouted together. When the lotus woman saw this scene, her face's expression did not change. She looked at the 3 old monsters as if looking at 3 ants. If it weren't for my skills, I am afraid that the master has been disturbed by you. Disturbing the master means die. After she said that, the woman stretched out her slender fingers and pointed towards the 3 old monsters. Seeing this finger, the 3 old monsters were frightened. No, 3 screams came to an abrupt end. The bodies of the 3 old monsters shattered, exploded into a blood mist, and disappeared without a trace. This. Luo Luyan and Su Yiling directly froze in place. No words couldn't describe their disbelief and shock. Master. That monster immortal has a master. Is her master the young master? One thought ends here. Luo Luyan and Su Yiling backs were cold, and there were chills all over their bodies. Fortunately, they had a good deed with the young master. Otherwise, the consequence might be unimaginable. Suddenly, the lotus woman looked at Luo Luyan. At this moment, 2 women's scalp exploded in a cold sweat. An endless pressure seemed to crush them into mud. The 2 women recovered from the tremor and came back to their senses. Although you are the master's friends, however, you should heed my words. The master is cultivating and experiencing the world as a mortal. You must never break it. Otherwise, the master's Dao heart will be damaged, and I will not spare you. The voice was not loud, but it was very powerful. When Luo Luyan heard it, they instantly understood. I see. Thank you for reminding us. Senior can rest assured that starting from today, we will only treat the young master as a mortal. Luo Luyan said firmly. That's good. After saying that, the lotus woman stepped on the lotus, walked down, sitting in the 100-color lotus god, and disappeared. TSK. That was close. Luo Luyan and Su Yiling secretly wiped out the cold sweat. Let's go. N. The 2 looked at each other and flew towards the sky. When they came far enough, the 2 stopped. The faces of the 2 women showed an unspeakable of their lives. Master, it is terrifying. Su Yiling said. Don't say it, my heart is still beating hard. Luo Luyen said. Master, how terrifying is the young master's strength. Even the monster immortal recognizes him as the master. Su Yiling asked. Unimaginable. Its strength is by no means under the immortal. Luo Luyen said. What? Impossible. Su Yiling was stunned. How can there be immortals in this place? This is my guess. Luo Luyen said. Master, if the young master is so strong, how strong is his master? Su Yiling asked curiously. Unfathomable. Speaking of this, Luo Luyen's face became more and more cautious. Since we have a good relationship with the young master, we must definitely pass his test. This time, I must get the treasure of the Ling Su secret realm. Luo Luyen said in determination. Hearing her master words, Su Yiling nodded heavily. Master, what are we waiting for? Let's go to Ling Su's secret realm. Okay. The two women turned into flash like a rainbow and disappeared into the sky in the blink of an eye. Ding, the blessing point plus 100. Ding, the blessing point plus 100. Ding, the blessing point plus 100. 3 prompts sounded. Sun Hao was taken aback, his face was full of doubts. Opened the panel, and found that the blessing point had reached 680 points. Among them, 80 points were obtained when Luo Luyen and Su Yiling drank tea and then sent them a painting. These 300 points of blessing points were a bit inexplicable. Sun Hao went to the backyard, his eyes swept away, and he found nothing unusual. Then, he ran to the front yard and swept across the pond. The 100-color lotus god blooms quietly, swaying in the wind, and bursts of lotus fragrance come from time to time. Breathe deeply and feel comfortable. There was no exception. It's weird. Sun Hao frowned, he didn't understand when he thought about it. However, it was always a good thing to get blessing points. Thinking so, Sun Hao walked into the room. Creak, he closed the door. A phantom slowly condensed and formed. Looking at it carefully, it was the lotus monster from before. She looked at Sun Hao's house, and her face showed a look of terror. I was almost discovered by the master. If the master finds out that I used the means, will he blame me? In the future, in front of the master, I should use fewer means. Otherwise, I will be discovered. With such a thought, the phantom of the lotus woman slowly disappeared. After 4 weeks, the calm had been restored. As if everything was illusory. Chapter 19. Monster Lord Wrath. Ancestral Monster Mountain Messenger. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. In the center of the Great Monster Mountain, in an underground cave. Liang Golden Crow sat in the main seat, looking at the monsters 2 rows below, with strong killing intent. Kacha, his joints exploded, breaking the silence around him. Huangli, Du Jiao, One Horn, and Jin Lin are all dead. Everyone, can you tell me what the hell has happened? Liang Golden Crow suppressed his inner anger and said calmly. As soon as these words came out, all the great monsters raised their faces looking at the monster lord, who raised his eyebrow with the word calm written on his face. The calmer the monster lord was, the angrier he was. Whoever dared to rub his anger would be killed on the spot. All the old monsters bowed their heads, not daring to show up. Liang Golden Crow looked at these old monsters with an angry face. I used to raise you, but at the critical moment, you don't even give a damn. Monster Lord. At this moment, an old monster stood out helplessly. You speak. Liang Golden Crow said. Monster Lord, Huangli, Du Jiao, and Jin Lin are powerful enough to deal with ordinary Mahayana cultivators. They are all dead. This shows that they may be facing a crossing calamity cultivator. The old monster explained. As soon as this sentence came out, many old monsters below gasped. What? A cultivator of crossing calamity realm is here. What should I do? Are they destroying my great monster mountain? Many old monsters whispered underneath. Wu Lin, what do you say? Liang Golden Crow asked. Monster Lord, to kill this cultivator, you can only win if you personally lead the team, said the old monster. Liang Golden Crow didn't speak, and his eyes fixed on the old monster, motionless. If I have to take care of such a trivial matter, so what's the point of raising you? After speaking, Liang Golden Crow raised his hand and slapped the old monster. Lord, don't. The old monster's face was full of panic, and he ran away quickly. But it was no use, a flame wrapped the old monster and burned him into flying ash, without a chance to scream. Seeing this scene, all the great monsters' faces under the stage changed, and their bodies trembled. In this case, you will follow me to destroy this cultivator. Yes, Monster Lord. Report. At that moment, a rapid voice sounded. Immediately afterward, a messenger monster soldier rushed in. Report to the Monster Lord. There is an urgent secret report. After speaking, the messenger monster soldier submitted the secret letter. Opening the secret letter, Liang Golden Crow looked at the content, his pupils contracted. A touch of fear was brewing. Liang Golden Crow looked at a group of old monsters and said, I need to go now because of something urgent. Let's put aside the matter of killing the cultivator for the time being. After speaking, Liang Golden Crow disappeared. When he reappeared, he had already arrived in a secret room. In the secret room, a man in black was standing with a mask on his face, and he couldn't see his face at all. Plop. Liang Golden Crow kowtowed toward the black-clothed man without a word. I have seen the Lord. Get up. The man in black said. Yes, my lord. Liang Golden Crow stood aside, not daring to let out the atmosphere. The man in black in front of him was the envoy of the ancestral monster mountain. In the eyes of all the monsters, the ancestral monster mountain is a heavenly existence, unshakable. No monster dares to be disrespectful to the ancestral monster mountain. I came here not on behalf of ancestral monster mountain but privately looking for you to do something. The man in black said. My lord, as long as it is not beyond my power, I certainly will do it. I will not hesitate to go through the fire and water. Liang Golden Crow said. Well, this is what I want. After speaking, the black man took out a jade bottle and handed it to Liang Golden Crow. My lord, what is this? Liang Golden Crow held the jade bottle with a face full of doubts. In 3 days, the princess will come to the great monster mountain. All you need to do is to pour this thing into the princess's cup and let her drink it. Then, take the opportunity to kill the princess. The man in black said. As soon as this came out, Liang Golden Crow was scared to death. His face changed drastically. The jade bottle in his hand almost fell to the ground. My lord, this thing can't be done by this small one. Liang Golden Crow returned the jade bottle to the man in black. Ha! The man in black smiled slightly and fixed his eyes on Liang Golden Crow. You have already known this secret. Do you think you can still live? This, Liang Golden Crow trembled, on his forehead beads of sweat rolled down. Unexpectedly, I was involved in the royal battle, damn it. If I don't please both sides, I will die on the spot. Now, there is no way out. Liang, if you do it well, the master will naturally not mistreat you. 3 days later, if you can cut off the princess' head and give it to me, you will be rewarded with 10 immortal crystals, said the black man. Immortal crystal, hearing this, Liang Golden Crow's eyes sparkled, and his face was filled with greed. Of course, if you don't complete it, you should also understand the consequences, said the black man. My lord, how can I kill the princess with my strength? Liang Golden Crow said. Don't worry about this, as long as the grand princess drinks this, at that time. She will have no strength. As long as you are prepared, you will definitely be able to take advantage of it, said the black man. My lord, wouldn't the princess discover this poison? Liang Golden Crow said. Don't worry about this. The bottle of poison in your hand is colorless and tasteless, and it doesn't have any toxicity when you drink it. Moreover, it will increase the cultivation level. However, if it is combined with another poison, even if it is an immortal, it will be hard to resist the poison. The princess has already drunk another poison. What you have to do is to drop this poison on the princess' drink, said the black-clothed man. Hearing this, Liang Golden Crow nodded and let out a sigh of relief. My lord, don't worry, this small one promises to complete the task. Liang Golden Crow obeyed. That's great. After speaking, the black-clothed man took out a bag and threw it to Liang Golden Crow. There are 2 immortal crystals in it. You can use them first, and you will be rewarded with 10 pieces later. Thank you, thank you. Liang Golden Crow held the shining blue light immortal crystal, and his body trembled with excitement. Well, I have something to do, leave first, remember, I have never been here, understand, said the black man. My lord, rest assured, this small one understands. After speaking, Liang Golden Crow folded his fists with both hands and bowed. The black man's figure flashed and disappeared without a trace. A moment later. The man in black went back and forth. He looked at the Liang Golden Crow and said, by the way, you can also give this poison to the Grand Duke and cooperate with the Grand Princess. However, don't talk about the master. I will definitely not let you live for 3 days. Also, if this matter fails, the monster emperor will know that at that time the master will be confined at most, but you will surely die miserably. The man in black said. My lord, rest assured, I promise to complete the task. Liang Golden Crow held his fists and saluted. Swoosh, the man in black disappeared and didn't appear again. This immortal crystal is really not easy to handle. But, it's worth it. Liang Golden Crow looked at the immortal crystal in his hand, and it kept shining with vitality. Chapter 20. The arrival of the princess. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies, and 3 days passed in a blink of an eye. Today, in the Great Monster Mountain, all the monsters were busy. There was a solemn expression on every monster's face because today was the Princess of Ancestral Monster Mountain's arrival. In the sky, there was a shock. There were white clouds suddenly blooming, blocking the sunlight in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, the white clouds began to spin clockwise. A vast vortex was formed, it drove the whole world to spin rapidly. As soon as this scene appeared, the monsters below were all shocked. This is a supreme teleportation array, isn't it? What a powerful force. It's terrifying. Ancestral Monster Mountain is really amazing. The monsters looked at the sky, unwilling to blink. A moment later, the vortex gradually stopped. A figure drifted slowly from the center of the vortex, standing in the sky. She had long blonde hair, 2 pointed ears hidden under the blonde hair. Those azure blue eyes had a hint of timidity. It seemed to be her first time seeing such a scene. She was the monster princess, Xuanhuan. Meeting the Grand Princess. All the monsters knelt down and saluted respectfully. The sound made the sky buzz. A trace of panic appeared on Xuanhuan's face. She hurriedly walked to Liang Golden Crow and helped him up. Everyone, please get up. Liang Golden Crow's eyebrows wrinkled slightly, and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. Sure enough, just like what the rumor said. The Grand Princess is cowardly by nature, so this matter is much easier. Princess, how dare this low one trouble you? Liang Golden Crow waved his hand and stood up. The other monsters stood up with him taking the lead, and said, Thank you, Princess. Princess, you must be tired, please take a rest. Liang Golden Crow said. No, I'm going to check the Blood Phoenix nest, business matters. Xuanhuan said. Princess, the Blood Phoenix nest has been shaking in recent months. Even if an immortal enters, it will be horrifying. You have just arrived. You should take a rest for 2 days and find out the situation before you go in. Liang Golden Crow said. Yes, Grand Princess, we finally came to meet you. If you don't taste a little bit of our specialties, we will feel sorry. Grand Princess, I heard that you love the common people like your own child. You promise us this little request. The old monsters around the Liang Golden Crow opened their mouths one by one. Huang Rumeng frowned upon hearing these words. Well, then I will get together with you all, Huang Rumeng said relentingly. Next, under Liang Golden Crow's leadership, Huang Rumeng came to the banquet. Huang Rumeng drank a glass of wine. Liang Golden Crow drugged every drink. Princess, congratulations on becoming an immortal. Cheer. Liang Golden Crow said with a toast. Cheer. Huang Rumeng waved her hand again and again. I just reached the stage of crossing calamity. It seems that I heard wrong, but it is only a matter of time before you become an immortal. How could I be? Huang Rumeng held her head and closed her eyes, seeming to be dozing off. Princess, Princess. Liang Golden Crow called several times, and Huang Rumeng did not respond. Help the Grand Princess to rest. Liang Golden Crow waved his hand, and several women walked up immediately, carrying Huang Rumeng, and quickly left. Soon, Huang Rumeng was sent to a cage. The cage was covered with arrays and impenetrable. Around a dozen old monsters were sitting around. Thud. The cage was closed. After a dozen old monsters looked at each other, they moved simultaneously. Whoosh, different colors of light flew out from their palms, poured into the cage array lines. The cage's array lit up a little. A vast layer of light was formed in the blink of an eye, covering Huang Rumeng. Ah, it hurts. Huang Rumeng woke up quietly, holding her head, revealing a look of pain. This is. She looked at the layer of light covering her body with a look of confusion. Suddenly, the layer vibrated. A ray of light split down and blasted on Huang Rumeng. Poochie, a loud boom was heard. A wound was cut in Huang Rumeng's body, and blood flowed out. You, what are you doing? Huang Rumeng said. Princess, don't you understand this? Killing you, of course. At this moment, Liang Golden Crow came out. You want to rebel. The Mother Empress won't let you go. Huang Rumeng said. Liang Golden Crow smiled slightly and didn't care. Princess, you died in the Blood Phoenix nest. It has nothing to do with my great monster mountain. Liang Golden Crow said. You. Huang Rumeng's face was ugly, and she used the power in her body, only to find that there was none. Am I going to die here? Huang Rumeng showed a trace of unwillingness on her face. This is also good, and no one thinks highly of me anyway. Maybe if I'm dead, it's good for everyone. Huang Rumeng sighed in her heart, closed her eyes, and quietly waited for death. Kill. Liang Golden Crow raised his mouth when he saw this scene. All the old monsters moved together. On top of the light, layers of gold threads swayed and fell on Huang Rumeng like rain of threads. Poochie, the sound of thrusting into flesh sounded. Ah! Huang Rumeng screamed in pain. It hurts. Can you kill me quickly? Huang Rumeng screamed loudly. Hearing this, Liang Golden Crow showed a bitter expression. He had no choice. The power of the Great Array was limited. He also wanted to kill Huang Rumeng as soon as possible, although her monster power was blocked, her physical strength was still there, and it was impossible to kill her at once. Princess, just bear it. It will pass soon. Liang Golden Crow said. Ah! But it really hurts. Gradually, Huang Rumeng felt less pain. The white shirt on her body was dyed into bloody red clothes. Her whole body was beyond terrifying. This scene made one have to hold breath. At this time, Whoosh, the pendant on her chest lit up with dazzling white lights. My Menger, you have to live well. A voice struck Huang Rumeng's mind. Bang, all around, the explosion kept booming. The great array was shattered like shredded paper. Bang, the old monster on the ground was like a broken kite, his body flew upside down and hit the rock wall hard. Even the Liang golden crow was flying backward. Clusters of white light wrapped Huang Rumeng and hurried away with her. In the blink of an eye, it disappeared. In the secret room, only smoke and dust were left behind. Cough, Liang golden crow struggled to stand up and coughed. Damn, there is such a protective charm. His face was extremely gloomy. He looked at the old monsters on the ground and shouted, if you are not dead, get up and chase her quickly. Monster Lord. The old monster was alive. Crawling in front of Liang golden crow, shivering. The princess has body protection treasures and has already escaped. She must have been seriously injured, so she can't escape far. Listen carefully, even if you have to dig 3 feet in the ground, you must find the princess. If she's alive, then I want to see the person, if she's dead, then I want to see the corpse, understand? Liang golden crow roared. Yes, Monster Lord. All the old monsters nodded together, took out some pills and swallowed them. Soon they recovered from their injuries.